Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about crafting your body copy using 4 copy chunks. And it's important that you remember the 4 magic questions that we talked about earlier in the training. Now, as we start to look at the different chunks of copy that you'll be writing, and that's a great way to look at email copywriting, is writing chunks, right? Chunks and transitions. So as we move into these, you'll start to see how answering those questions, those magic questions, is pretty much the first role of writing copy, or the first big step in writing the copy. It'll actually start to write itself. So let's take a closer look at the 4 different chunks that we're going to be talking about, the 4 different body copy chunks. So number 1 is blind or curiosity. Now, it's important for most emails to have some element of curiosity, right? Curiosity can really be a strong click driving mechanism. Right. Next, we need to talk about kind of a direct or a benefit-rich copy chunk. So while we may get some people to click on our email by being kind of curiosity-based or by piquing someone's curiosity, certain people are going to need to move on and get more of a benefit before, or at least understand the benefit that they will receive if they have whatever it is you want them to have, before they'll click your email. Now, next is urgency or scarcity. This is kind of the big one, right? And I have a theory on urgency. I have a theory on why deadlines or countdown timers or the fear of loss actually motivates us, that I'll talk about a little bit later. And finally, proof and results. So the way that I like to break this down is looking at 4 sections of an email. You have your intro, so the start of your email, right? Obviously, we're assuming that the subject line is already written. You have your intro here, that's the start of the email. Now you have your kind of body copy. You're going to have your close and your PS, right? If you're writing a full email, in most cases, you're going to have these elements, okay? Now, let's talk about when to use these different copy chunks. The best time to use curiosity, proof, or credibility is in your intro. Now, let me explain why. If you have a link at each section, it's easy to get people who know that they're already going to click your email just by reading the subject line, right? They're already going to click that link. Now, let's take a step back before we get in there and really do something that I probably should have done earlier. And that's kind of explain the job of each aspect of your email. Now, the job of the subject line, right? The job of the subject line is obviously to sell the open, right? To sell the open of the email. The job of the body of the actual email is to sell the click. And the job of the landing page or the destination is to sell whatever you're selling. Where I see a lot of mistakes, and even seasoned email marketers making mistakes, is they'll try to get the subject line to sell the click. They'll try to get the body to make the conversion, not the conversion for want or the conversion for click, but the conversion of whatever they're selling on the next page. You haven't earned that right yet, right? This isn't the appropriate place to do that. So keeping in mind, subject line sells the open, body sells the click, and then wherever you're directing people to makes the actual sale, the actual conversion, whatever a conversion means to you. So keeping that in mind, let's break down the different sections in here. At first, occasionally, you've written such a great subject line, right? Remember the subject line categories and how they line up here? Those are important when you're intersecting. If you are leading with a curiosity-based subject line, you may also want to have a curiosity-based intro. So in this example, you haven't taken me up on this yet? And then there's a link. The intro can be so short because if you've piqued someone's curiosity, right, or you piqued someone's curiosity, or you've talked about proof or credibility so much that they have to know, you want to have a link high in the email copy to go ahead and let those people click immediately. You don't want to start telling a long, drawn-out story before giving them an option to click. So curiosity, proof, or credibility is great here. And we'll break this down in some examples in another video. Now, the body copy is great for benefits or results. And here's the way I like to think about this. If I'm reading this email as a consumer, or as your subscriber, and the first line is, "You haven't taken me up on this yet?" ? And then there's a link, and I don't click that link, curiosity is off the board, right? We don't want to leverage that again. If I only had curiosity-based chunks throughout here, then there's no point in putting more than one link. There's no point in making the email any longer than about this, because they've already said no to that. That mechanism already didn't work on them. I don't have enough information maybe about you, maybe about what you're saying, maybe I'm just generally confused, or maybe I'm annoyed at how vague you're being. So that's why it's important to leverage all of these. But we need to say, all right, if here are the 4 chunks that I have that I have available to use, and I've just used the curiosity, that's off the table. So let's move on. You haven't taken me up on this yet? ? I'm assuming it's because you haven't had a chance to really look at what I'm offering you in exchange for one big cash dollar, because you'd be crazy to pass it up. Activate your account in DM Lab today, again for just $1, and you'll get access to my entire execution plan library. All of our checklists and reports, cheat sheets, and standard operating procedures, literally every system we use to run our business. So in this example, now I'm going benefit or result, right? You haven't done this yet? Curiosity. The benefit is, if you give me $1, I'm going to give you access to all of my checklists, reports, and cheat sheets, and standard operating procedures. Now, if I'm a business owner, that's important to me. That's who should care, a business owner or marketing professional. Why should they care? Because this is everything I use to successfully run my business, and they should want it too. So we've gone curiosity. Now we've got benefit here. Seriously, you get access to all that for just $1 today. But you have to hurry, because the $1 trial offer ends in less than 48 hours. Link number 3, scarcity, right? Scarcity. Why should I take action today? Right? Why do I need to do that today? Now, I told you that I have a theory on scarcity and why we wait until the final second, why deadlines actually motivate us to do something, and I was going to talk about it a little later. I think now is a good time to talk about that just for a second, and I'll go on a bit of a soapbox or tangent. If you'll humor me, I would appreciate it. So I've spoken to a lot of traditional marketers, right, and a lot of email marketers, and a lot of people who write email for big brands, and they tend to have an issue with scarcity. However, here's how I think about it. Every week, Best Buy puts out a circular, a flyer. There are things that are on sale, and at the end of that week, there's a new one. Other things are on sale, and the stuff that I was interested in is no longer on sale, potentially, right? I missed out. Here's why stuff like that works. We have so many decisions that we're able to make every day, right? We have a bank of available decisions as human beings that we can make in any given day. Now, some days we wake up and we don't have to make any decisions for a long time. So I'm a father of 2 gorgeous little girls. I have a beautiful wife. Now, sometimes I prepare really, really well for my day the next day. I lay out my clothes. I know what I'm going to have for breakfast. I know what I'm going to make my daughters for breakfast. Their clothes are laid out. Their backpacks are prepared for school. I know that I've packed my gym bag. That's been a while. I've packed my gym bag in a perfect world. I know what I'm going to wear. I know what I'm going to do when I get to the gym. I've got all of this figured out. So I get up in the morning and I really have no decisions to make until I get into the office. So we may go several hours before I have to tap these available decisions, right? But what happens if the opposite is true? If I wake up in the morning and I don't have my gym bag packed, I've got to pull some stuff there. I don't know what I've got to wear. I've got to make some decisions there. I don't know what I'm going to make myself or my children for breakfast. I've got some decisions to make there. My daughter's bag hasn't been packed for school. While not decisions, it's a task. If her clothes haven't been picked out, then now that's something else we have to do together. If I drive to the gym and I walk in and I don't know what I have to do, now I've got to figure out what should I do now that I'm here. How many decisions did I just have to make? Right? I'm exhausted from decisions that had to be made. I couldn't not get dressed. I couldn't not send my daughter to school. I couldn't send her prepared. I couldn't send her without food. Those are decisions that we have to make. So here's where the point comes in. human nature is to immediately ask ourselves, when poised with a new decision, is this a decision I have to make now? Is this a decision I have to make today? Or can I put it off because I know that I'm hoarding the available decisions I have left to make? Right? Think about eccentric but successful millionaires, right? Like Steve Jobs and you've got Mark Zuckerberg, right? They chose to wear the exact same thing every day because it was one less decision, right? One less decision, one extra decision that they got to make a day. And for them, it could have meant hundreds of millions of dollars. It could have meant changing lives forever. Now, your decisions and my decisions may not be that important globally, right? They may not have that type of impact or be worth that much money, or maybe they are, right? Who's to say? But the loss of a decision is important. The loss of a decision for your subscribers is important. So if you don't have scarcity in your emails, at least leverage sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, you're not telling your subscribers when they need to make a decision by. To me, thank you for telling me this. This is a great deal. Do I have to make a decision now? Well, you don't have to, but soon. Soon you're going to have to make a decision. So if you really see that this is important, maybe it's worth taking one of those decisions from your decision bank, right? Maybe it's worth expending one of those available decisions now. Maybe I'll email you tomorrow. Maybe I won't. Maybe you won't see it. At the end of the day, is it worth missing this deal because you know you only have 48 hours or less left? So that's my soapbox. That's my tangent why scarcity is good. It's a good thing. If you know what you're selling is good and it adds value to the lives of the people who buy it, then it's your job to make sure that they buy it. It is your absolute job. If it's not good, if it's not enriching the lives of your subscribers, then I hope they don't buy it. Right? I hope they don't buy it. You should be selling stuff that's quality, that improves the lives of your subscribers, of your customers. And if you are, then leveraging scarcity to tell them, hey, listen, sorry to bother you, but I know that you're busy. I just need to have a decision now. That's okay, because if not, they miss out. And if they miss out and it has a negative effect on their lives, or it keeps them from having a potential positive effect that you know you could have if they just took you up on this, it's a great time to use scarcity. So that's the third. Now the fourth is social proof or scarcity. So these two can kind of be interchangeable, right? You can put proof up in the beginning, or scarcity, or credibility. You can put proof here, you can put proof here. Really, you want the middle part to be benefit driven, right? Benefit driven. But in the bottom, we can come in and say, P.S., check out what one of our members had to say about DM Lab. And then there's a testimonial from an actual member. So I hit every one of these four critical chunks and psychological pieces. To break it down, I answered every one of the four magic questions in writing this email. Now, believe it or not, this email works extremely well. It's one of our go-to campaigns for activating new premium subscribers in Digital Marketer Lab. It's in every acquisition campaign that we launch. So remember what I said about the four different reasons. If I open this email and we say, you haven't taken me up on this yet, link. Okay, credibility's done. If I don't click and I don't delete the email or I don't close the email, I'm still interested, but you haven't told me enough yet. So now we get to the benefits section. Now, if I'm still reading, and again, I haven't deleted or archived or closed the email, I haven't clicked, keep going, but tell me something different, right? We've got the benefit. Now we'll have some scarcity, right? That's the third bite of the apple, shall we say. 4 bites of the apple, right? That's the third one. Now, if scarcity's here, and I know that I have to make a decision pretty quickly, I haven't made my decision, but I'm still reading, now I have social proof. That's 4 different reasons that if I'm still reading, you're actually giving me more information and telling me why I should click. Doing it the other way is basically saying, hey, I think you should have this, click here. And if they don't click here, you're saying, how about now? Click here. How about now? Click here. How about now? Click here. You've not given them any other reason other than the initial reason to click your email, and it won't work. Leveraging this structure in writing your email copy and structuring the body copy of your email will ensure that no matter what people respond to, whether it's curiosity or proof, credibility, benefit, or scarcity, you're speaking to every person as long as they read long enough. Okay? This is very important in crafting your email body copy, and I hope that you got some benefit from one or more of my tangents in this particular section. So, in the next video, we're going to talk about crafting a clear call to action. I'll see you back in just a minute.